And you may say, Brother Danny, I've been a drug addict my entire life. I have failed at every corner. I've been in and out of prison. I've done horrible things my whole life. There's no way that people's ever going to believe that God's called me to do His work. Well, to that person, I want to say this. If you find that hard to believe, there's no way that you can believe 66 books that I got right here, because God used a lot of people that was not qualified to do God's work. Deborah is really the exception to the rule. She lived a life of where, like all of us would be like, yeah, let's use Deborah to judge our city, and do all this. But like Moses, he's a murderer. He can't talk, and you want him to lead God's people. Paul actively hunted Christians. He did it for fun, right? He actively went and hunted Christians, yet he built the entire first church, and he built a big part of the Old Testament. Your past don't matter when it comes to God. He will use you. And you don't listen to nobody else when they tell you, I don't think God's using you that way. Of course, we have to use common sense. I would agree that God's probably not using you in the way you were expecting if you show them the world every day of the week. But when you're in church, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. There may be a little wires crossed right there. Because I do know what God's Word says about that. And He says that if we don't obey His commandments, we're liars. And God's not in us. But you can change overnight. I told somebody that the other day. I said, of all the gods I've ever heard about, Buddha, whatever it is, there's only been one that's completely changed my heart in an instant. I've heard about all of them. I've never felt any of them except the one true God, which is our God.